Did Kyrie hurt or help his cause? We're here to discuss that.
You are tuning in to the Morning Fix. Now get up and grab your fix.
My name is Macho. I'm the host of the Morning Fix live radio show. I stream daily from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, and we cover politics, culture, and relationships. We cover a wide spectrum of things so we can have the conversation that are most polarized in today's society. So instead of it staying polarized, let's normalize the conversation to work through some hard, difficult topics so that we're not at odds with each other and we could just learn where to build bridges, where to tear them down and say, you go your way, I go mine. And that's that. Agree to disagree. That's the whole method of this channel. All right, let's get into this Kyrie Irving situation. Kyrie Irving just had a post-game interview, and he was discussing about a post about a movie that could have some anti-Semitic leanings. Now, we're not going to discuss the movie, but we're going to discuss the actual interview. Did he help or hurt his cause? Now, understanding the position that he's in and knowing who Kyrie Irving is, we have to take into account a few things. So first and foremost, I want to dive into some of the things he said in this post-game conference, why he posted this video link on his social media, so on and so forth. And obviously we are aware that everything is pretty sensitive right now because of Kanye West, now known as Ye, saying things like DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. And he explained why several times over several interviews. Now, Kyrie Irving has now stepped into the realm in having that conversation. Let's dive into this and see exactly what was said in that post game.
Identifying any one group or race of people, but I'm in a unique position to have a level of influence on my community. And what I post does not mean that I support everything that's being said or everything that's being done, or I'm campaigning for anything. All I do is post things for my people in my community and those that it's actually going to impact. Anybody else that has criticism, it obviously wasn't meant for them.
Right there, that statement. I want people to put their finger on the fact that he is posting this video for him and his people to cause an impact. For people who think that way are leaders. Kyrie Irving is a leader. He is a superstar in the NBA. And we all know what happened last year as a result of the COVID pandemic. So on and so forth, did not want to get vaccinated. And that whole controversy now leading into this. Still, despite all that, Kyrie Irving is a superstar. He is a great NBA player, possesses talents that not every person can possess. But in this situation, he is revealing outside and off the court that he is a leader and he wants to provide certain resources out there to impact the people around him. So I want us to put a finger on that. And he also then stated, if anyone has any criticism, then it wasn't meant for you. It's a little dicey for me because even if you're trying to impact people, sometimes criticism, or I should say, sometimes you open the door to criticism. And that's fine. It's a way to keep you accountable as a leader as well. And it's not a way to, hey, this is supposed to have a you know what measuring contest. It's just to say, hey, this is what I'm getting from this. Can I push back? But he's saying anyone who pushes back, it wasn't meant for you. But what if the members of your community start to push back and have questions of their own? Having questions or clarification, is that pushback and criticism? It opens the door for that. I'm not sure if he's reading that well.
I don't expect understanding from a media conglomerate group that sincerely talks about the game of basketball and bring up religion as if it's correlative at times when it's convenient for people to bring it up. So please just be direct with your question so we can move on from this and I could talk about the game and go home to my son Elohim and my wife Marlene, okay?
This was clearly a defensive response because obviously a person in the press was trying to dig a bit further. What journalists are supposed to do, which is what I'm always screaming for during my daily show when I hear a lot of media pundits, especially some members on the press corps, asking leading softball questions, whether on the right or the left in political spectrum, doesn't matter. Here in sports, because people judge players based on how they produce, a lot of people have questions of things they post, things they do, how they act on and off the court, and the media conglomerate in which he just criticized or became defensive with is that extension of the fans. They are the representatives, though we may not have picked them, they are there for us to purge the player to see what mindset they had, whether during a play, whether off the court antics, so on and so forth. So when he says it's not meant for you to understand, just be direct with your questions, he's telling us essentially that it's not meant for you to understand anything I got to say. The people who I want to know, they're going to know. So when so many people who look up to him who do want to understand and ask those hard questions, is he going to be that defensive? My initial prognosis is that he will. He will be that defensive, especially to people he doesn't know. But think about these players, these athletes. They play for people on the big stage in front of millions of people who they don't know, and they look up to them. They have a strong influence. And again, Kyrie Irving is a leader on the court, and now he's posing and positioning himself to be a leader off the court, especially with the George Floyd incident and buying George Floyd's family's house and shedding money, being a person of the community and helping out, being that resource, being that leader, using his platform. So he is going to be criticized or he's going to be praised. I can't help but think of certain things as I was listening to this post game. And one, if you're going to make statements or you're going to put things out there on your social media account that raises eyebrows, understand your platform. That's number one. Number two, usually athletes or anyone in the public sphere either apologize for what they've done or they can explain it. If they go the explaining route, they have to live in the fact that they're open to so many different types of questions. They're going to be purged. They're going to be pushed, poked, and prodded because they have opened themselves up to this. That's why a lot of athletes just do the quote unquote proverbial, I apologize for what I did, despite the fact that they may not even believe in that. The apology is to end the conversation and move forward, which something that obviously I had mixed messages about. Kyrie at times wanted to move forward in this post game, but at times want to come back and start doing what? Over explaining. And when you over explain, guess what journalists do? They have more questions. So I don't know what was going on, but it seems Kyrie is pretty frustrated by the fact that he's not taken very positively after the post that he posted on social media.
There's things being posted every day. I'm no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different. You guys come in here and make up this powerful influence I have over top of the adultery of, oh, you cannot post that. Why not? Why not? Everybody posts everything else. You saw the word nigger going up on Twitter, right? I don't hear an uproar on that. I'm not here to be divisive on what's going on this or that. I'm not comparing Jews to blacks. I'm not comparing white to black. I'm not doing that. That conversation is dismissive, and it constantly revolves around the rhetoric of who are the chosen people of God. And I'm not here to argue over.
All right, so Kyrie Irving now is now conflating an issue of, hey, people were saying the N-word on Twitter and no one was saying anything. I see the beautiful thing about the internet is that it has a long memory and it's a deep pool of thoughts. People were outraged over, for example, Clarence Thomas. I don't know if you guys remember. There was a person after the Roe v. Wade overturn, essentially, you had a person on social media literally say the N-word in reference to Justice Clarence Thomas, to which there was such an uproar from the right in saying, hey, you left-leaning liberals out there, hello, you're going to allow this to happen? Right? There was a complete uproar, a undertaking that was going on. So that person had to delete their tweet. And yes, there is going to be an uproar. just like there's going to be an uproar for any quote unquote anti Semitic statements or anything that could be insinuated as anti Semitism. My issue with this response is I could post whatever I want. Everyone posts everything. Of course he can. I 100% agree with him. Free speech is free speech. That's fine. And you will hear later in the interview, he says, did I do anything illegal? No, he didn't. I am a firm believer. If anyone knows me and this channel, I'm a firm believer of free speech. But you also have to understand the consequences in which it comes with. You may have to explain yourself or you may have to apologize. Again, he is deflecting from that reality. And that's what I'm having a hard time with. But no, Kyrie, you can do whatever you want. But you have to understand that being a person in your chair, the spotlight is bright for you.
Up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me doing, do you see me in front of
putting it out there,
the
people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I put it out there
promoting.
just like you put things out there, right?
If we remember at the beginning of this video, as I was commentating on this, he said this specifically, that I put this out there to impact my people. This is for me and my people. So in essence, is he promoting this video or movie? No, he's not getting paid for promotions. He's not advertisement, but he is providing a source for an impact for him and his people. In essence, it is some kind of promotion. You're promoting this to give insight to your people on this said topic. Now, because he's so defensive, he could not challenge and meet that in the middle and say, look, I understand that you're using the term promotion loosely and vaguely, and I did promote it for my people. It's just what I'm trying to do and provide that impact. But the way I feel like you're using the word promotion is as if I'm promoting this out to the rest of the world. And in essence, I'm feeding into this anti-Semitic argument or rhetoric. I don't feel comfortable with you saying promotion. Now, he could have said what he said and allowed the presser, the person asking the question, to continue on with their thought process. Either they alter their question, rearrange the question, or double down on it to put pressure on the athlete to say something. So let's continue to hear the response.
It's not
You put
stuff,
things out there for a living, right?
right? But my stuff is
Great.
not
So let's move on.
filled
Let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing
I'm
that.
another
You're
human
free to
being.
post
I can post whatever I want. So
can post
say
what-
that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that by
I don't have to understand anything from you.
Let's go backwards forward. He said it again here. I don't have to understand anything from you. And again, I don't know who's their PR person, who's coaching these athletes, who's speaking to them, or kind of not, I guess, guiding them. Right? You can't tell them what to do. Right? They're like he said, he's a human being, and he's going to have a mind of his own. But when you're talking to the press is the extension of the fans. And sports is extremely critical, whether on or off the court. It does not matter. For example, during the NBA finals in which Cleveland was up against the Golden State Warriors one year, I'm not sure if it was 2016 or 2017. I forget the years. Either way, regardless, J.R. Smith was seen at a bar during the nights, I guess their nights off, with Rihanna having a few drinks, to which the Cavaliers lost. Either lost the series or lost the game. I'm not getting into the specifics of that. But that was off-court antics that affected on-court game. See, sports leaves the door open for an insane amount of criticism. That's just how it is. Whether it's religious, whether it's your stance on things, it does not matter. On the court, on the field, off the court, does not matter. Sports world, the sports arena, the sports climate opens the door for criticism. So for him to say you don't have to understand is him letting people know out there, you don't have to understand, you don't have to understand me. And it just causes that friction and disconnect. Hey, and some of you, it might cause more of a connection with Kyrie. You might like his rebellious revolt. I'm not trying to be cynical towards him or skeptical towards him. I actually supported him during his revolt against the vaccine and support him even now with him being able to have an access to that free speech. But in this interview, at times he says, I'm a human just like everyone else. Kyrie, you are, but you are a leader of one of the biggest basketball teams in the Eastern Conference. You have skills that millions of people around the world do not have to be in the position that you're in the NBA. You're not just like every other human being. You're part of the 1%. You make more money than most people, not only in America, but around the world. So you're not in the same league as most humans. You are a human being by its basis. But in terms of status and stature, what you say echoes through the entire country and perhaps throughout the entire world. And I know that Kyrie is vulnerable enough and well aware of himself enough that he understands the weight of that. But I think that he's angry deep down inside. I think there's some anger, frustration, and ultimately there's some hurt. I don't know what he's hurt by specifically, and I wish I could have a sit down with him one on one just to ask him, are you upset by something? Is something frustrating you and hurting you? Is something about the league, this interview, and just to have the conversation that'll lead us through the way, and maybe we can see a different side of him. That's my commentary on this video, despite the fact that he got really defensive at the end of it. That's all. It was the defensiveness was already there. That's fine. But I just wanted to provide some commentary of how I saw this interview. And hey, if I can sit down with Kyrie Irving and have a discussion with him on this, I would love that. And I would open the door for him to come onto the Morning Fix live radio show. I support him. I support him as a human being, support him as a player, and I support his ability in this country to have free speech. But I got questions. Kyrie, would you be willing to answer them? Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so that every time we have a live show, which we do daily from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, you'll be able to get that notification right to your device. You can follow us on YouTube, Twitch, on our Facebook page, and Instagram. Be sure to find us there so you can get the up-to-date news coverage as possible. Tune into the conversation daily on the Morning Fix live radio show. Thank you.